Hi there, my name is John Sharp. I'm the co-chair of SCOR Working Group 168 along with Raphael Sazed, and our group is called Coordinating the Development of Gridded Four-Dimensional Data Products from Biogeochemical Argo Observations, or 4D-BGC for short. So the motivation for our group is that autonomous platforms are now delivering high-quality biogeochemical observations with global distribution and with seasonal resolution. To give an example of that, this figure shows the number of profiles to at least 1,000 meters in the World Ocean Database for oxygen, chlorophyll, nitrate, and pH, made by all platforms other than Argo profiling floats in these thin lines, compared to made by Argo profiling floats in these thick lines on the right. So you can really see that explosion of Argo data for these biogeochemical parameters over the last couple decades. And with that new data, groups around the world have been using these novel observations to create observationally constrained estimates of ocean biogeochemical properties. And the main thesis for our working group is that coordination of these efforts, these new products, will be beneficial for addressing critical questions about the response of ocean processes to ongoing and projected climate changes. So just to give a couple examples for questions that can be addressed, this figure on the left shows projected changes in dissolved oxygen concentrations toward the end of the century. And in this figure, the stippling denotes where at least 80% of the models in the coupled model intercomparison project agree on the sign of the anomaly of the change in oxygen. So these unstippled regions show where there is significant disagreement in just how the sign of the change that will happen. So there's a high degree of variability, especially regionally, in these projections of dissolved oxygen changes. Similarly, the figure on the right shows projected changes in ocean interior carbon storage, also from CMIP6. And this figure emphasizes that the magnitude of these changes in carbon sequestration by the biological carbon pump are also quite uncertain. So for this group, we've brought together a number of different researchers from 14 countries around the world, each working on different aspects of global ocean biogeochemistry from either an observational perspective or a modeling perspective. So we've outlined a number of terms of reference for our group, which are shown here, along with an approximate status bar on the right indicating progress on each of these, and I'll briefly walk through them. So we plan to establish connections among different players in this community around the development and the usage of 4D-BGC products. We plan to compile an inventory of each of these products that are available, highlighting information about each one. We will synthesize available estimates of global biogeochemical processes that might be refined by these novel 4D-BGC products. We plan to develop recommendations for methods of creating, distributing, and dynamically updating new products. And finally, we plan to build capacity within the oceanographic community, especially among early career researchers and within underrepresented groups, to ensure 4D-BGC product development and usage is sustained and supported into the future. We've also outlined a number of deliverables, which are shown here along with status bars as well. So we plan to produce an online repository of gridded 4D-BGC data products, which will be hosted by the Biogeochemical Argo website. We'll produce a synthesis paper on 4D-BGC product development and how it might continue into the future. We plan to release synthetic data sets to be used for methodological comparisons among different approaches of creating these observationally constrained 4D-BGC products. We will write and release a recommended practices guide for how to develop, produce, and release new data products. And we will prepare an archive of material from this working group, including code, presentations from online webinars, and written reports on this topic. So these are just some examples of our group's activities so far. We had our first meeting in February of this year in New Orleans, associated with the Ocean Sciences meeting, where we discussed the group's motivation and introduced each of our group members to one another. We also held both an oral and a poster session at the Ocean Sciences meeting, where we discussed new and in development observation-based data products of ocean biogeochemistry. We gave a presentation at a SOCOM BGC Argo webinar in April, where we provided an update to the SOCOM community on this group's activities and plans. And we held our second working group meeting in May of this year online, where we discussed some other aspects of how these products might be utilized. And we also formed breakout groups to make progress on different goals and outlined our synthesis paper. And then after this meeting, we also gave a presentation at the GO-BGC annual meeting in September, and at the BGC Argo data management team meeting upcoming later this month. We're planning to present on our group's activities as well. Our group also has a website, 4D-BGC.github.io, where we will be posting, we have already posted some meeting summaries, and we're planning to post a link to our data product repository, along with additional resources that we produce in the future. And we're also engaged right now with planning a webinar series to start very soon on 4D-BGC data products. So I just wanted to close with the philosophy of the working group. So we recognize that a variety of different communities have a strong interest in this topic, from data providers and data managers to modelers, product creators, marine resource managers, biogeochemical oceanographers of all different stripes. And so we want to do everything we can to work together with these different communities at the organizational and the grassroots level. So for that reason, we've been very intentional about inviting outside members, outside researchers to our meetings, and getting as many people as we can involved with the activities of this working group, which I think will be a net positive for the community. So with that, thank you for listening, and I'll end it there.